Everything, let's see, right from the loading the libraries and the data parameterization, everything, the script we are going to use only for the execution of the test case. No configuration done will be done in the tool directly. The configuration, the settings, the load add-ins that what you need to load, everything will be done through the external, I mean through the scripting only. Okay, so right from launching the tool, selecting the add-ins, doing the required object identification settings, and like once after opening the test, loading the libraries, associating the repository, and initiating the execution, and taking the execution results. Okay, and writing the execution results to the batch file. All these things, everything will be done through the scripting only. Once, okay, the inside the UFT, what you are going to do, you are going to write the script only for the test case steps, whatever the steps mentioned in the test case, for only that script will be used, UFT will be used. Right from, like everything, that whatever that you want to do, like launching the tool, doing the settings, opening the test, loading all the libraries, repositories, everything will be done through the external programming. Okay, so that no manual intervention will be there in that. Okay, so the very first thing that what we are going to do is, first we need to do the object identification settings. But you guys don't open the object identification settings and do manually. So what I'm going to do is, now I'm going to the object identification settings, then first I'm doing the settings in my machine. Whatever the settings need to be done, then I'm doing it. I almost done that for every yeah. Okay, so for everything I've done that. Now once I've done the settings, then what I'm doing is, so I'm just clicking on a button called generate script. What this generate script exactly here? The generate script, what it does is, as soon as I click on that, based on the settings what I have done in my machine object identification settings, it will generate one script. That script is called as AOM. AOM stands for Automation Object Model. So what it does is, that script, that AOM, what it does, it accesses the API, that programming interface of the tool, whatever the settings I have done, then generates the scripts to make such settings automatically. Okay, then, so what we will be doing normally, instead of asking everybody in the team to do the settings, okay, manually open the tool and then do the settings, instead of that, what initially we will do is, whenever we are implementing the framework and all, in one machine we will do those settings, and then we will generate the script. We'll ask everybody to run that script. Instead of doing the settings one by one, we'll just ask the team members to run that VBS file. So that as soon as you run that VBS file, those settings will be automatically done. The script will update the settings automatically. This is only for object identification settings, automatic generation, but we have another places also. Now what I'm doing is exactly, so I've done the settings, I'm clicking on generate script, and as soon as I click on that, you can see here, you see the VBS file is automatically creating. You say object identification settings, I'm doing it, VBS. I'll say the framework I'm just creating. We'll give one automation framework name. We'll look at fancy name a little later. We'll give a fancy name further. I'll say miscellaneous folder. Then I'll say object identification settings here. Now let me go to that file. What is there in that exactly? What is the drive? HR. See, you got automation framework, miscellaneous, and if you look at that, what happened exactly in the script? First, it is creating an object called create object QuickTest.Application. So what is mean by QuickTest.Application exactly? Like what is mean by Excel.Application? When you use Excel.Application, it will access the API of the Excel object. It will access the API of Excel object. Similarly, when you say QuickTest.Application, it will access the API of the tool, automation tool EFT. And then the method launch is used to launch the tool. And visible equal to true means ideally, I mean, normally it will launch the tool in a hidden mode. Visible equal to true means it will make the tool visible. Then object identification settings, according to the current settings, you can see here ordinal identifier, mandatory properties, whatever we have added, like it will add for all the classes, whatever are there. Okay. Then what you can do is, whatever are not required, you can remove all. So ActiveX and all we don't need, we are not going to use. Window, Win object and all we are not going to use. Mostly we need for we need we don't need this. We need only for the web objects. Okay. I don't need all. So now you have got all for web application. If you see that, it has taken the API like app.options.object identification browser. First, what it is doing, it's removing the existing mandatory properties, then adding only the name. Assistive properties, it is removing. Smart identification, false means it is unselecting the smart identification. So like this, you know what exactly it is doing is, based on the current settings that what you have done, then the script will be automatically generated. Now what you need to do is, this one we are going to have in the SharePoint, right? That means in the Google Drive. You need to download this and then you need to run, so that whatever the settings that I have done in my machine, object identification settings, will be done in all the machines. So when in the framework, it is very important to have the common settings in all the machines. Next thing, what you have to do is, like, okay, so from now onwards, you are not going to launch the tool manually. I mean, going to the EFT, and you are not going to do that. We are going to launch the tool through the script. And how you are going to launch the tool with the script only here. So that means you are going to control the tool with the script from now onwards. Okay. So how you are going to do that? That's where that you are going to write the AOM. So to launch the tool with the script, very first thing that what you need to do, you need to create the quick test object. You are going to learn AOM now. So how do you create the object? Just now we have seen. What is that? Set OBJ equal to or OQDP or something that you can use any tool. OF equal to create object of QuickTest.Application. Create object dot QuickTest.Application. So what it does is, okay, so whenever this method is been, or this statement has been executed, it will create the quick test object. Then after that, what you have to do, you need to launch the tool. How do you launch it? oft.launch. But when you say oft.launch, then tool might have been already launched, right? So what you have to do, if the tool is not launched, then only you launch it. Otherwise, yeah. So what you have to do, first you need to verify whether the tool has been launched or not. Then, so how do you verify tool has been launched or not? You say oft.launched. Launched is for launching. Launch is a method. Launched is a property. So property is for retrieving information or checking for something. That's for property. That's a property. Launch is for to perform the action. Remember, launch is a method. Launched is a property. So launched is used to check whether the tool has been launched or not. And launched true means it's launched already. Then what you say here? Say if not launched, then you launch it. If tool is not launched, then you launch it. Okay. Now, I'll just do saying that tool settings. I'll give this file name as tool settings. Okay. Or I'll set launch to with settings. And as I said, by default, tool will be launched in hidden mode. So what you can do now? Yeah, if it is in hidden mode, then you make it to visible. You make it to visible. Right. So let me do one thing. Let me close the tool. Let me close the tool and let me run this. I just ran that file. I closed that tool. Right. I'm not opening the tool manually. So it takes a little bit of time because normally the EFT is a bit slow while launching. Okay, so just wait. Tool has been launched now, right? So by default, what happens is it will launch with the new test. By default, it will launch with the new test. Okay, but what exactly that you need to do whenever you are launching the tool? See, add-in manager displayed? Add-in manager is not displayed, right? But when you launch manually, what will happen? Add-in manager will be displayed first, and then you will have to select the required add-ins. And if you want to keep the selected add-ins like that, then what add-ins will be selected depends on your previous launch. When you launched previously, whatever the tools that whatever the add-ins that you were selected earlier, then the same add-ins will be selected now also. So when you launch with the AOM, it will not display the add-in manager. It will directly launch the tool, but what add-ins will be loaded depends on the previous launch. Previously, when you launched the tool, whatever the add-ins were selected, the same add-ins will be loaded here. Okay, but now maybe like see, in one project maybe, or in one module to another module, sometimes you might need to select an additional add-in. Maybe one module you have only the web, but in the same project maybe some other module, that module might be interacting with another application as well, where that application might be some Windows based application or something. So when you're executing the script for other module, then you might need to change the add-in. So in such cases, launching again, see, if you launch it, then what you need to do, just if you want to check what add-ins have been selected, you go to settings, you go to properties, and then you can see here what add-ins have been loaded, right? What add-ins have been loaded. But assume that you add in whatever that you wanted to select for this module, that add-in is not loaded. In such cases, what you do, again you need to close the tool, you need to launch again manually, add-in manager will be displayed, then you select the required add-in. So that means that sometimes you might need to select the additional add-in, sometimes you don't need to select it. So through the program itself you need to do that. You need to, before you launch the tool, you need to specify which add-in needs to be selected. Then how would you do that? As I told, before you launch the tool, you need to select the add-in. Then to select the required add-ins, what you have to say, OFT dot. You have got something called set active add-ins. The method set active add-ins is used to select the required add-ins before you launch the tool. And if you have got only one add-in, then you can directly give the add-in name here. But if it is multiple add-ins, then you need to give through the array. But if it is single add-in also, you can give through the array, or multiple add-ins must be given through the array only. Okay. So what I am doing is here, how you provide the array? You can use array function here. Array of web, comma, I might need ActiveX. Set active add-ins, then you need to pass the add-in names through array. But now, as I said again, module to module, the add-in might be changing, right? So tomorrow, in case if you want to select a different add-in, what you should do? Again, you need to open the script, right? But I don't want any modification. Once I launch the tool, once I write the script, unless it is a major change, I don't want to change the script at all. If it is data change, here data is nothing but the add-ins what you need to select. I don't want to do any change. So that's the reason what I have to do is whatever the add-ins that I want to select, those add-ins also must be parameterized. I have to create the configuration file. So that's the reason what I'm doing is now in this framework folder, I'm creating one more folder called configuration. I'm creating one more tool called configuration. We are going to have multiple configuration files. One configuration is for the tool, like what add-ins and what settings need to be done in the tool. That's one configuration. Second one is resource configuration. For which module, which libraries, which repositories need to be loaded. Third configuration is the application environment specific configuration. For which environment, which URL and which browsers need to be launched. Okay, and which database schema should be used, which master credentials need to be used, all are application related configuration. Okay, so we are going to have three different types of configuration files, and ideally for this configuration and all, XML is the ideal format. Okay, normally for every configurations and all we use XMLs. So the reason why we use XMLs, it will be easy for us to create the structure. Okay, for XML, when we use an XML, it will be easy for us to create the structure. So what I'm doing is I'm just creating an XML file here. I'll say as tool configuration.xml. Then what I do is I'll create an XML file and I'll write the configuration here. I'll say config. Whatever the add-ins need to be selected, add-in, add-in. So for each add-in, what I'm doing, I'm just creating an element in the XML. So what it has to do, whenever it is launching the tool, it has to read the configuration from this XML and should be done the settings according to this XML, right from loading the add-ins. Okay. Now, so instead of this directly active add-ins, these add-ins, how many add-ins are there? All the add-ins must be coming into an array. Must be coming into an array. Array size should be automatically defined. So I will only write the script. I'm not going to ask you to do that. Well, first of all, okay, the text configuration is in XML format and we should read the data from XML. How would you read the data from XML? You say create object of Microsoft.xml down. Then next what you have to do is you have to say oxml.load okay, so that's okay, it's not loading the methods. Oxml.load and you need to specify the XML file path, but this also should not be hard coded because not in every machine we are going to use the same path, right? We might not have a G drive and all. So later on we are going to change this. Okay, next what I have to do, I need to verify whether this XML is properly configured or not. So what I do is I'll say oxml dot parse error dot error code is not equal to 0. What is that error code? Exactly, it shows the error number. If there is any error, then error code will not be 0. Error code will be something. If there is no error, error code will be 0. So if there is no error, don't go inside it and you directly come here. If there is any error code, you go inside the condition and then you can say str error info equal to oxml dot parse error dot reason. Okay, so reason is nothing but exact the information. Then you can say give a message box saying that error found in tool configuration file, XML file. The parse error is identified as below. We say left. Then what is that? str error info. Then you can't continue with the script and then you can say wscript.quit. Wscript.quit means yeah. So meanwhile what you do is equal to you kill the object and then you quit it. So I will comment this out little later. If you see, when I press dot now, OEFT dot, methods are not being populated. You know why? But if I see here, if I press here, you know the reason? The reason because when you say nothing, then that's where that variable will be released from that object. So that's what the nothing does exactly. Okay. So for now I will comment out, but once we are done with scripting, I will uncomment that because in the remaining lines I need those methods to be available. Okay. Now what this does exactly? Okay, in case if that XML is not configured properly, then it will display that error information and then stops the execution, doesn't launch the tool. So if that XML is good, the tool configuration has been properly configured, then what you need to do next? You need to yeah, so you need to get all this add-ins information. You need to write that add-in information into the array first. Based on that, you need to launch. Okay, so what you have to do now? First you retrieve the add-in information. So what you say now is O add-in elements equal to OEFT dot, not OEFT, OXML dot get elements by tag name of what I said here, add-in. I'm getting this element. Next, int total add-ins equal to O add-in elements dot length. Length means count, right? Next, I have to get them into an array, right? So what I do? I'm declaring a dynamic array. Then you say reading add-ins of into total add-ins minus 1. You know why minus 1? Because if there are two add-ins, the size will be 1, should be 1. Okay, now what you do is for I equal to 0 to into total add-ins minus 1, error add-ins of I equal to add-in elements dot item of I dot text. What is meant by text? Text is nothing but the text between the start element and that's the text of the element first add. So it will retrieve one by one add in element and retrieve the text that will be passed. First time I means 0. So item of 0 means first add in element dot text, nothing but web. Web will be passed to 0 index. Next I will be 1. So second add in text will be passed to second I mean index 1, like that. Now what you can do? That's it. Okay. See now what are the add-ins selected? ActiveX, UI automation, web services. Web services being common there. Okay. Now I just closed the tool. You say launch tool with settings. Now the tool has been launched. We go to tool settings. Then you can see what add-ins have been selected now. Only ActiveX and web. Now next what I need is I want only web. I don't want the ActiveX. I don't want the ActiveX. I want only the web. Now you say here, you run the tool again. Sorry, run that script again. Now you go to file, settings. Now only web has been selected. Web service is being common there. Okay, you can ignore that. Now ActiveX is not selected, right? Not case sensitive. It could be in any case, no problem. Okay, adding names are not case sensitive. So now whenever you want to launch the tool, you don't need to manually go there and launch it. So this configuration will be common. Maybe like, in case if you want to select the different add-ins, then you just go here and then edit it and then you run that file. So tool will be automatically launched. That's what AOM, I mean, a lot of things that you're going to do with the AOM. Not only that, the batch execution, everything that you're going to control, but not with one VBS file. You're going to create different VBS files. One is for object identification settings, second one is for launching the tool, third one is for batch execution, all those things. Okay, next. Another settings that what you need to do is in this. Let me launch the tool now. Some of the options that we need to change. Some of the options that we need to change here. Some options are like this. Go to tools, options. In the options, I need to report as HTML. That is okay. There you don't have that options. I need to select some of the options like disable recognition of virtual objects while recording. I have to select this option. But what is the default option? Unselected, but that option has to be selected according to the setting that what you have. Then it comes to the test run, it has to select the fast mode. Okay, so it has to select the fast mode. Then this and all okay, this and all okay. Now, as I said, we are going to give a different reporting format, right? In our framework, we are going to give total three types of reports. One is a customized format, which I've shown, but in that also we need to do a little bit of customization that doesn't show the expected result. So one is in a customized format, which gives the high level information about your execution, like what steps have been performed, what steps have been passed, how many steps passed, how many steps failed, overall how much time it has been it has taken, and the environmental information where you have executed script, or all those. So that's that is information will be given in the HTML. Second one is inbuilt reporting. You have already seen enough inbuilt reporting, like whenever you run the script you can see the report, right? That's an inbuilt format. The third option is we are going to give the video of the execution, like the entire execution will be taken as a video. If you want to see that how it will be, I'll say always here. So if you want to do that, otherwise not required. So I'll just write a simple code now. System.run chrome.exe, comma, http enterprise.demo.orangehrmlive.com. Then just a simple code that I'm writing here. I'll say creation time equal to 0 dot page, title equal to dot star. You say web edit of HTML ID equal to button of HTML ID equal to btn dot. Okay, so I just wrote some simple code, that's it. Now let me run this. Before that, let me see if I have the record and run settings what have been selected. First option only selected, that's okay. Now did I select that option, the result video? Yeah, okay. Yeah, they have changed, that's okay, no problem. Add-ins not activated, maybe that's okay. That's warning and all you can ignore. Now okay, I should have done, let's select HTML reporting. Yeah, you got the video. You need to save it, but this is an inbuilt in HTML format. You need to save it in local system. Okay, that's fine. Now you got screen recorder. If I run it, you can see here, however that execution has been done. Full is not captured. I don't know why. I don't know why it has not been, but okay, that's okay, fine now. But what it does is, however your execution has been done, like it will be generating the video of all execution. Okay, and then it will capture the video and stores. So this will help us, tomorrow if somebody wants to go through that, some people will be very lazy, or like when you have a lot of steps, uh, they feel that okay, so going through every step and going through the screenshot of every step takes a lot of time to analyze. So that's the reason what you can do, if you can give the video to them, they can just play the video and then they can observe, right? So this will be easy for them to analyze the reporting. So this is another kind of reporting that we can do. So our framework is going to give three types of reporting. One is you are like uh, custom reporting. Second one is inbuilt reporting format, step by step. Third one is video format. But video result will come only when you have selected this option. Sorry. Okay. And if you have not selected this option, video will not be captured. But again, not all the time we may need the video, because when you capture video for every execution, what will happen? It consumes a lot of space. So that's the reason you need to give the video only when it is required. Okay, so that is also another setting that you need to do, whether it has to capture the video or not. So few of the settings that you need to do like that. I mean, before you launch the tool, such settings need to be done automatically. Okay. So what you need to do now is, what you need to do now, I'm going to do that settings in the AOM. So here I'm just selecting the add-ins. Next, I need to select the run mode. Run mode as fast. Right now it is normal. I need to select as fast mode. And then I need to select the videos capturing. And I need to say that, okay, here. Disable recognition of virtual object. I need to select this option. Maybe some other settings that we need to do further, but not now. One by one that we will do. Okay, next. But manually, as I said, nobody should do that manual settings, because when people are doing manually, there are chances that people might forget one or other option, because when it is only one or two options, then people can do. But when you need to do multiple settings, then people will forget one or other one. They might miss out, not wantedly, but no, so unintentionally they might miss out. So that's the reason we'll make sure that none of the setting will be missing out. So what I'm doing is, now I'm writing the script like this: OEFT, nothing but the tool dot, where it is under options. Under options, you have got something called run settings, right? Under options, you are going for run settings. Run dot something called run mode. Run mode is nothing but you have got something called fast and normal mode. I'll say fast. So if you want to do it in normal mode, then you can do it. But this also should be come through the XML file. Remember. Next, what you have to do? You need to select the disable virtual object thing. Options dot. Do you have anything called virtual object identification here? Disable VO recognition, virtual object recognition, equal to true. True means selected. Next, what you have to do? You need to capture the execution result. That means that video capturing is required. Right? Then you say OEFT dot options dot do you have something called screen capture? No, right? Let us see if you have that inside the run. Movie capture for test results. Equal to, you give as always. Multiple options are there. Always only for errors. Never means unselected. Always means okay. Capture errors means only it will be capturing the movies only when there are errors generated. Always means entire run will be captured. Okay. Now I've done that. Now anyway, the tool is already launched, so that this piece of code will not be executed. So remaining will be executed. But before I run that script, you look at the settings. This has been unselected. This also I am unselecting. What else? This also unselecting. Normal mode, unselected. General, virtual object. Right. So let me run that file now. Okay, so that has been executed. Go to tools, options. Is it selected? Fast mode has been selected. And go to screen capture, always has been selected. Now what I do now, I'll just change the settings here. I'll make it false. I will make it normal. I'll say it never. Tools, options. You can see this has been unselected. This has been unselected. Normal. Right. So this is what I mean, another part of the AOM. So AOM has got many options for us. It will give many options like do the tool settings automatically, launch the tool automatically, and all. That's one part. Total four things that we are going to do through AOM. One is do the object identification settings. Second one is do required configuration in the tool. Third one is opening the test and running it. And fourth one is before you run the test, after opening and before you run, load the libraries and required repositories for every test. Okay, so you are going to control with the AOM. Now what I'm going to do now is in the XML itself we are going to specify this. Next is I'll say run mode. I'll give fast. So if you want to run in normal mode, you can just come here and change it to normal. Virtual object VO setting should be done as false. Or you can say yes or no, or true or false, something like that. You can give anything. Next is what you need to do. Movie capture. You just write it as always. That's it. Now what you do is dot item of 0 dot text. So depends on whatever you have given there, then run mode will be automatically set. If it is yes, then this should be true. Else this should be this is movie capture. That's it. Now depends on that XML file, these settings will be automatically done. So not only that, we are going to do many other settings, but one by one we will see while implementation. I don't want to show all the settings immediately. Okay, you are going to select the reporting format, but the reason why I am not giving this now, because you are using 12.02. So this reporting in a 12 from 12.5 onwards, we got two types of reporting. One is HTML and normal reporting, but till 12.02 we have only a regular reporting format. Later on they have given HTML, which is again a lightweight version of normal reporting. That's it. Also, you might need to do some other settings like adding the relative path folders, and in the web also some of the settings that you need to do here. Okay, so some configuration that you need to do, but those you will see one by one. Okay, this is something that AOM does, right? Now onwards, whenever you launch the tool, we are not going to launch the tool by manually. So you have to go there and then you need to run the file. Okay, so in case if you want, what you can do is not here. You need to create the shortcut on the desktop. You can create a shortcut on the desktop and then you can run it, or you can keep a batch file on the desktop. You just double click the batch file. Okay, no problem. And we are going to have two more VBS files here in the AOM. In the configuration, we are going to have two more files. This is tool configuration settings. Second XML is for resource configuration. Third configuration is application environment configuration. Three XML files. Now, in case, the advantage with this is tomorrow if any change is required, like in object identification, or maybe if you want to load additional libraries or repositories to each script, no need to change anything in the tool. No need to change. The tool is only for the execution. If any configuration settings required or anything needs to be changed, everything that you are controlling from XML. Okay, so maybe by using XML. Okay, so this is the use of the XMLs. So where you have used XML DOM in the reality, or where do you use XML DOM, where that XMLs will help us? Why did we learn XML DOM in VBScript? While discussing about VBScript and all, we learned XML DOM, right? So this is where exactly the XML DOM will help us. But during these many days in the automation implementation, we didn't get a chance to work with the XML. But when you are implementing the framework, then XMLs will help us a lot. The ideal format of the configuration files normally XMLs, only for because XMLs will help us to create the structure properly. Okay, so easy to understand the structure. Fine. So